In this video, we are going to talk about modern C++. So, for people who are from India, they have learned C++ as an integral part of their high school as well as their college degrees as well. In engineering, all sorts of engineering, people have learned C++. But the C++ that we are taught in colleges is predominantly the old school Turbo C++ and C, the old school C. So the things have pretty much evolved, and now we are having modern day C++. So C++ is a language that was like invented by Strostrup in the year 1985 or 86, that sort of a thing. So like it's almost 40 years old now. But the changes, or you could say it has evolved throughout this years. Okay, so like currently the recent standard of C++ is C++23. It is not yet the stable one. The stable one is C++20. Okay, so speaking of the standard, so what exactly this committee does is it has come up with features that help this language to become a modern language that can be used or it can be utilized for different types of modern day programming. Okay, so back in the day, C++ was only into like systems programming, but now if you see, then C++ has expanded its horizon to a great extent. So it is being used as a language. So though predominantly it is a systems based languages, C++ is, but the applications have slowly tuned into like there are different types of backends and all those things written into C++. So as it is a modern language, so you could accomplish a lot of things in C++ using frameworks like Qt, WX widgets and all sort of thing. Okay, so we'll just learn about the differences or the features that have been introduced in C++ that make it a modern language. So move semantics is the feature that is being added in C++. So all these features predominantly were added since C++11, okay, which is known as the C++0x standard. That is the initial standard. Before that, prior to that, there was a CPP03 standard, that is the 2003 standard. Okay, so speaking of standards, predominantly the features that were added to C++11, okay, that is the C++0x, the improvements and bug fixes were that sort of a thing were done in C++14. Okay, then there was another major release which was C++17. Okay, and the changes, or you could say the bug fixes, were done in C++20. Okay, and now the 23 is the newer standard. So in C++20 also we had very interesting things. Okay, so like you had a lot of different things like coroutines were added, then modules, which is another C++ feature. So we'll see all these features. Okay, so we'll just look at what are the core features that were added. So one feature that was added is move semantics. So initially what happened was the things that work in old school C++, there was a lot of copy semantics. So a lot of copying used to take place whenever you assigned a variable or that sort of a thing, assigned a copy constructor. So that caused a lot of extra memory usage, or you could say memory allocations were taking place. And as you know, C++ does not have a garbage collection. So this is kind of an intelligent tactic that they have used, which is move semantics. Okay, so what exactly move semantics is, we'll look into some upcoming videos. So we'll just start listing out the features, okay, and then in the next videos we could see what exactly these features do. Okay, another important feature that was introduced is smart pointers. Okay, so smart pointers basically are scope based pointers. So there were initially the pointers that were used, they caused a lot of problems in memory management. Like they were helpful in memory management, but unscoped pointers or that sort of a thing used to have a major implication in C++. So what happened is they introduced different types of pointers. One is the unique pointer, then shared pointer, and all those things. So these were the kind of pointers that were introduced. Okay, so how they make life easy in C++, that we'll see. This is just an introductory video. We'll see about these features. Let's just get acquainted with the basics. Okay, so after that, the important feature that was added was automatic type inference. Okay, so type inference is basically you assign some value and you what do you call prefix auto keyword, and it determines its data type. So it sounds as simple as that, but it has a major advantage. Like you don't have to declare the data type everywhere now and then. Okay, so it is a helpful feature. And then there's lambda expressions, which were added to make C++ kind of compatible with functional programming. Okay, so not much used, but yeah, this is yet another feature. So range based loops were also added. Okay, and another important changes that were done were improved STL libraries. Okay, the standard template libraries. Okay, so this was about the features. Okay, so now if you are planning to learn C++, so I would recommend using a Linux based OS. Okay, so I am personally using Linux Mint. Okay, so sorry, Mint, and you could use Ubuntu. If you are brave enough, you could use Arch Linux. Okay, so yeah, so this operating system is based on Debian based kernel, or you could say Ubuntu and Linux Mint are derived from Debian. So to install C++, okay, you need to install G++ into this thing. Okay, so first thing you should do is sudo apt update. So in your command line you have to add this commands. I've already done it, so I'm not doing it again. I'm just listing out the commands that you'll have to perform. After sudo apt update, you will have to do sudo apt install, sudo apt install build essentials. Okay, so another thing you need to remember is if you're planning to install some specific version of G++, okay, so you could opt for like this as well, G++ 14 or that sort of thing. So build essential will essentially give you all the related files as well. Okay, so this is a pretty much a whole pack. This will give you GCC and all as well. Okay, so that's about it. And I'll be using the IDE called CodeBlocks for this whole tutorial series. Okay, so to install this thing, there are two commands basically. So sudo apt install CodeBlocks. Okay, so after that you have to install CodeBlocks contrib package. CodeBlocks contrib. Okay, so these are contributed packages. So this has like what do you call static analyzer, some specific shortcuts and keywords that could make life easy for people. So this all things are included. If you want, you could use your favorite IDE, or you could say editor like VS Code or IntelliJ sort of thing, whatever you prefer. Okay, so that also you could do. So that's it. So from the next video, we'll be looking at how differently modern C++ syntax looks like. Okay, so pretty much the initial videos you will not find pretty much the difference in like old school C++ and the modern C++. If you have used some modern books like books which have syntax from C++ 03, so then initial videos you might find that it is not much different, but as you go in the more and more deep concepts, so you would see that there is a lot of things that have changed. Okay, so that makes modern C++ a totally different beast. Okay, and yeah, one thing that has happened is like C++ and C are now totally into different tracks altogether. So like initially it was said like you could simply just change printf to stdc out and you could run pretty much your whole program in C++ to C and that sort of thing, unless you're using anything the object-oriented part. But now that is not the case. Okay, things run a bit differently over this thing. So this two languages have you could say evolved in their own ways. Like C also has its own standard. Maybe we could make a review about that as well. Okay, hopefully I'll see you next time. Yeah, thank you.